Every year, there will be at least a couple busts who were selected high in the lottery. There's already a couple guys we can think of from the 2017 class, but it'll take at least 4 years to really find out if a player will excel in the NBA or not. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Former first overall pick Anthony Bennett was bounced out of the NBA after 4 seasons, but still only 25 years old, recently had a career-high 36 points for the G League Clippers team, desperately seeking another shot to be called up. He went 12 of 13 from the floor, 8 of 9 from 3 to go along with a perfect 4 for 4 from the line. With those excellent shooting numbers, it's safe to say he's a much better player now than he was a couple years ago, so there's still plenty of hope he might get a second chance in the NBA, so don't write off Anthony Bennett just yet. There's been a couple former busts who will be free agents next season, on the verge of saving their careers. Some will be bounced out and likely play overseas due to the lack of production in the NBA. I made a video this past summer on recent NBA busts who has one last chance to save their careers. A couple of them are proving why they belong in the league, but here are 6 recent busts who will be out of the NBA next season. Starting with Jahlil Okafor, who signed with the Pelicans this past August, giving him another chance. It felt just like yesterday that he was compared to Karl-Anthony Towns in college, was even considered going number 1 in the draft by many experts during the middle of the college basketball season, but times have certainly changed in the blink of an eye. His game simply doesn't translate at all to the modern NBA. His biggest weaknesses, his lack of quickness and lack of perimeter shooting, the 2 most important qualities to have in today's NBA. Okafor's defensive effort has been a nightmare, has very slow body movement, and a way below average rebounder at 6'11". Only played 10 games this season, mostly in garbage time, putting up 3 points, 2 rebounds in 6 minutes of action. Has been seeing less and less time on the floor every year. If he was playing 15-20 years ago, there'd be no doubt Jahlil would be a starting caliber center, getting touches in the post, putting up 17 and 8 in the slower paced NBA, but there's simply no use for Okafor to display his skill set in today's game. Was out of shape last season after he was traded to Brooklyn. There's too many holes in his game today to get minutes on the floor. Marquese Chriss, the 21-year-old power forward, has not improved since being drafted 8th overall by the Sacramento Kings in the 2016 draft. The Rockets declined his player option at the early start of the season, leaving him an unrestricted free agent. Was looked upon as one of the main players coming off the bench, giving the team great energy with his athleticism and finish around the rim, but only played 9 games so far, racked up half as many DNPs, not making any impact whatsoever. He's regressed since his rookie season, only averaging 2.1 points, 1.1 rebounds in the early part of the season. Marquese Chriss has not shown any promising signs in his 3rd season, very undisciplined with his work ethic, had very questionable attitude problems with Phoenix. Instead of being known for his highlight dunks, he'll be remembered for getting angry texts, trying to act tough with the opposing team. He's also an awful outside shooter, not a good rebounder, has plenty of work and maturing to do if he wants to stay in the league. An even bigger bust, his former teammate Dragan Bender, who doesn't have much of a future in the NBA. Fallen out of the rotation, only played 7 games thus far. His 5-point garbage time performance against the Lakers is currently a season high. He'll be a fun player to watch in Europe next season. When given the chance to play 30+ minutes last season, Bender failed to have any significant impact. Hasn't stepped up his game, failed to shoot at least 40% in his first 2 seasons, was a disaster even in summer league, afraid of physical contact, very inconsistent with his shooting. If the 21-year-old 7'1" power forward can't even get minutes on a very bad team, there's no way he'll be getting minutes on a good team. Time is running out for the Croatian native. His career in the National Basketball Association's in serious jeopardy. Ben McLemore, who'll be an unrestricted free agent after this season, was drafted by the Kings as the 7th overall pick in the 2013 draft, spent a year in Memphis last season before being traded back to Sacramento, only played 6 games this season, dealt with adversity off the court when his younger brother Kevin tragically passed away earlier this season. Dealing with a tough time, I'll be rooting for him and everyone on this list to succeed, but not everyone's meant to have a long NBA career, with some guys coming and going every year. It'll be very difficult for McLemore to find minutes in the rotation behind guards Buddy Hield, De'Aaron Fox, and Bojan Bogdanovic, who are better players. At 25 years old, the 6'5" shooting guard was once compared to Ray Allen when he was drafted, will be fighting for a roster spot next season, but not a promising sign when he hasn't made much of an impact playing on bad teams. Wesley Johnson, at least a 6'7" small forward, was able to play 9 seasons in the NBA. Drafted as the 4th overall pick in the 2010 draft, he was already 23 years old as a rookie, never reached double figures in scoring in any season, started 13 of 18 games for New Orleans due to their lack of depth, putting up 4.7 points, 2.7 rebounds in 18 minutes. Was supposed to have a huge offensive role. Whether or not he started has been awful on both sides of the ball. Drafted ahead of DeMarcus Cousins, Gordon Hayward, and Paul George, the 31-year-old Johnson will be remembered as a journeyman who played for 5 different teams, filling up roster spots with no significant role. Going forward, he'll be less and less intriguing, with his NBA days likely coming to an end. Michael Carter-Williams, who continues to be awful, not having any impact with the Houston Rockets, averaging 3.6 points, 1.3 assists on 37% shooting in 14 games so far. I honestly thought he was going to play overseas this season, but has not proved to be an asset. Has improved a little bit on his shooting, knocking down 31% of his threes, but is still an offensive liability. Left out the rotation, with Brandon Knight coming back from injury, he'll be responsible for backing up Paul as a better shooter than MCW, who's also not a good defender. With his numbers decreasing every year since his rookie season, most players usually improve from age 22 to 27, but Carter-Williams declines. With rookie Gary Clark and role player Daniel House taking most of the bench's minutes, Carter-Williams won't have anything more to prove this season. After his 1-year contract's over, his NBA career will most likely be over. My 2 most honorable mentions includes Michael Beasley and Cameron Payne, where Bees redeemed himself a little bit with the Knicks last season, but hasn't played much on the Lakers. Being on the bench for most games, he can drop 20 in his sleep if given the opportunity to play more. Although his defense and work ethic are not his best qualities, but with his scoring talents, I believe another team will give him a chance next season. As with Cameron Payne, who started more than half the Bulls games at this point to fill in for the injured Chris Dunn, his career has been a huge disappointment. Averaging 6 points a game, his lack of improvement raises a huge concern going forward, where I won't be shocked if he plays overseas next season. I didn't mention guys like Mario Hezonja, Nick Stauskas, or Noah Vonleh because they've been playing solid minutes for their teams this season, giving good production. Even though those guys might never be good NBA players, they'll be good enough to stick around. Which other busts do you guys think will be out of the NBA next season that I haven't mentioned? Out of Jahlil Okafor, Marquise Chris, Dragan Bender, Wesley Johnson, Ben McLemore, and Michael Carter-Williams, who are you most disappointed by? Which of these players will go down as the biggest bust? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I talk NBA comparisons, amazing storylines, NBA history, and anything basketball that will interest you. If you love the NBA, subscribe for more content, more great stuff coming soon. See you next time.